Northern Ireland Alternative Timeline Season 2 Episode 6 Being the Political Boss. My God, this country. I mean, you'd think that it would be, a little bit more progressive, but I mean, my God, there's some serious problems with it. I mean, I'm not saying there's not problems with other places, but I'm just looking through these things, God, imagine. I mean, I'm gonna have to introduce some sort of a thing now. Really? Why? Oh, well, it's just, the way we promised that we'd stop being like those other parties, the Conservatives in England, they're like, oh, this, that, the other, and they don't do anything really that good. I mean, they do the thing now and again, but most of the time it's just, God, most of the time it's just nothing, Anyway, I'm gonna have to sort of do something. Anyway, so, first order of business, tax. I think I might have a bit of trouble over this. Why? Well, just because I don't get support of the other politicians, I'm gonna need to do some drastic things. So I think I might need Davidson. Yeah. Well, invite Davidson over here. I think we need to have a little talk with them. Because, some Conservatives can listen to reason, Yeah. So we'll see now. Okay, will do. So, Davidson. I was interested in possibly, maybe increasing the tax now. We've recently been allowed to gain access to our tax laws. So now we're allowed access to our tax laws. The tax laws, we're now allowed to, increase our tax if we want to on certain industries. And I was thinking of introducing a foreign business tax. Sorry, what? A foreign business tax. Basically, we'd have a tax for foreign businesses that were storing their money here. Why would we have that? Well, it would just mean that, we could protect our own businesses, and obviously those businesses would have to pay more. Also, you probably won't like this, but there's a tax for earners over 200 grand. What do you mean? Earners who are earning over 200 grand a year will be put in a tax bracket of 60%. 60%? 60%? That's a massive amount. That's huge. I know it's massive, but here's the thing. We need to raise money, because currently we're dealing with all these, people who we don't have a viable industry here. We're not sustainable. So we need to make this thing more sustainable. And how do you think we're going to make it sustainable? Well, we're going to have to tax those that are wealthier. And that's why I'm introducing this tax. So also, you do realize the world needs to change, and you're obviously, traditionally very conservative, but I think you should be accepting of this. Why? Why should I? Well, because, how do I put this? You see, we're in a very tricky predicament. You need to go all together with all the other politicians, essentially, just to get your bills passed. So if you lose my support, if you lose our party's support, well, then that means you need to win over, the other party. So good luck with that as well for some of your policies that you want to put forward. For example, what was that policy you wanted to put forward about, export tax and import tax? Oh, yeah, well, I was thinking maybe we could introduce a slightly different tax way, obviously, tax way, but for countries that are for our businesses. Don't worry, it won't affect your bill anyway. It's our businesses that are importing, our businesses that are exporting. So I just think that maybe we might need to possibly have a bit of a lower tax on that. obviously before we were in the when we were in the EU, that was fine, but now, well, it's a bit different. So I was thinking maybe, yeah, it's been my plan all along, but obviously we didn't have any power, but now you say we do. Yeah, but we do only have a certain amount of power. I mean, I'm we're in talks with them now to let us have more power, and it's mainly because well, how do I put this? We're gonna introduce a little policy further down the line. We want to introduce policies, and England may not agree with them, and that's fine. If their people don't want those policies, that's fine. It's up to them. But we're a separate country, so why shouldn't we have the policies that our people want? So anyway, that's one of the things that we'll be having. And so you want that to go through? Well, I mean, I would actually agree with that. I think we should reduce our import tax and our export tax. But well, I'm sure we could arrange something. But if you don't support this thing, well, it may get a bit dangerous for you, But I just don't. I'm having trouble with this though, because I can't agree with this. Look, you can. You are the leader of your party, so I'm sure you can get something working. Also, will you show the leader of the Alliance Party and when you're on your way out, will you? Anyway, see you soon. I like to thank you. Oh, so Jeffrey, what exactly is going on now? I mean, I was wondering, some of the policies are put forward. It's just that they need a bit of supporting. Hello and welcome back to the show. We've got first we've got the leader of the Peace Party of Northern Ireland in the show today, and they're going to be talking about some of the new policies they're introducing. So will you're here to weigh your new policies? Is that right? Yeah, that is right. First of all, these are obviously the reason why I held this interview is because obviously I don't want if I'm used to political side stuff. If there's a really boring policy that really means nothing, it's just a little thing that might affect a few people or even nobody. Then obviously you just make that in the speech. You say, okay, we're not that. In some cases, you're just voting something which is already in the case in point, and you're saying just we voted against it or we voted for it. That's the sort of thing. And in that case, you just have a little bit of announcement. But for this is a fairly big thing. So, first of all, there's going to be a tax on the wealthy, a new tax on the wealthy. A new tax on the wealthy. So, are you increasing the percentage? No. I would say to increase a bracket, a new tax bracket. For earners of over 500 grand a year, they'll be paying 60%. 60%. My God, I'll be having to fork out a bit more money then if I'm living in Northern Ireland. Would I not? You're earning, you're earning 600,000 a year. So what you'll be looking at is around maybe you'll be taking up at the end of the day. I haven't actually got the numbers on me currently. Basically, it's just the ordinary level of tax you would be paying on the first few tax brackets, but it's once you reach that last tax bracket, which is 500,000 and over. We want to introduce a further tax bracket of 70% for earners of over 10 million a year. 10 million a year. Aren't many that are in that bracket surely in Northern Ireland. No, there aren't. It's more of a security measure. Because we can't be seen. Society cannot be seen as the situation where just because you're wealthy that you can then keep more money, because that makes no sense. If you're wealthy, surely then you can give more. You can give more. You can help society improve, and really at the end of the day, you're looking at a lot more money than anybody else or than the majority of the population is earning. Like, no offense to how much you're getting paid, but you are getting a lot more than other people. Yes, I guess you could say that. Yeah, but I've worked in this position Yeah, I know, and that's I'm not introducing a thing where I'm banning people from earning that much. That would be dictatorial. That would be quite pointless. And if you want to sit out there and you could say, well, you do deserve it. Well, I'm not going to make a comment on that, But what I'm saying is that basically you're in the position where you can say that because you have that money, and why exactly should you continue to have that? If you've got that money, you've got plenty of money now. So this isn't really going to affect you that much, because you're just going to get charged, maybe like you're getting charged around an extra few percent on the remainder. So at the end of the day, you're looking at about 140,000 taken off you, but earning around 600,000. So at the end of the day, who exactly is making the big bucks? Because if you compare that to somebody else, that's very different. Yes. So is that all you're introducing? So people have been saying that around the world that corporation tax should be introduced. So wouldn't people say, well, you're harming your citizens, but you're not attending to things, attending to companies. No, that's one of the other policies I've been introducing today. This is mostly economic policy, so I'll just say, if you're not interested in economic policies, switch off. But if you are, I would advise you to listen, because this will affect you if you're a big multinational, or even just an ordinary multinational, because multinationals, when they be paying 20% tax, so that's really how much you'll be paying if you're multinational now on your profits. Yeah, but what about this is actually very similar. That's not a really big tax hike, though, is it? The tax was relatively low. People wanted to reduce the corporation tax, actually. Some people. Yeah, I know, but that's why I have actually decided to follow some of my colleagues' thing. And this is one, you might say, oh, you're only doing it because you want the support of the fellow parties. No, what I'm saying is, basically, at the end of the day, if you are a business, we don't want to crush you. We don't want to stop your profits, because, you're not making millions, you're not crushing the small guy. If you're a small business who works in the side corner, maybe you only employ 10 people, maybe you only employ 20 people, maybe you employ 100 people. At the end of the day, you're not massive, and you're not really, taking loads of money out of the system and paying a bunch of people a small amount of money where they don't even know how to spend it, and they keep it, and they have that mountain up at the bank. And the only thing that the bank can do is spend it. But that means just the bank have the money, and that's all. Because at the end of the day, you don't want that. You don't want that at all, because a lot of these people will be putting this money on offshore places to then avoid other things, even which avoid the tax itself. So that's my point. So we will not be introducing. We're dropping our corporation tax for native companies. So this is companies that are either Northern Irish, set up in Northern Ireland, or this is a new addition to our claw. Companies that have either a Northern Irish citizen as their CEO, or a company that was set up by a Northern Irish citizen. By the way, I will say this does not cover businesses that are set up by a partnership of a multitude of people. This only accounts for business that is set up by the person. The person can bring other people into the company, but they have to set up the company themselves. Well, that's a pretty big change that you're introducing. I think that really is a pretty big change to your tax law, and I hope that our listeners have found it very interesting. We'll be back after the break, where we'll be talking with a scientist who's saying that possibly, just possibly, maybe rain has a good effect on your mood. Anyway, after these. Don't you like that feeling that you get when you bite into a new bar of chocolate? Well, you can get that feeling all the time with Bailey's Chocolate Munch. Chocolate Munch is a new type of gum where you feel that lovely taste of chocolate, but for longer. Bailey's Chocolate Gum. the gum that tastes like a biting into chocolate. Thank you for listening to this Northern Ireland Alternative Timeline, the show where it's like a political show, except it's on an alternative timeline. So it's not, I guess, because it's fiction. But, you know, if you want to click on the video, you can do that. That's fine, yeah. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. Yeah, it's good, yeah. You can do that at any time. Just go ahead, click on the video. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's also good. So hopefully we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening.